Alright guys, this is fast, mainly because I get asked far too frequently in game to not do something like this. So my talents, I'll talk about what they do in a BG, but for both of them are the same. Yes, they're both identical. Both Unholy and Frost. I use Unholy Blight, Lichborn, Death Advance, Death Siphon, Runic Corruption, and the same for Frost. Those are my talent choices. I will explain them in a BG so it's not completely boring as shit to watch. It's just here's the best place to actually see where the talents are. Alright guys, I'm gonna attempt to go over the talents and why I picked them, if I can remember them, because perhaps just doing that thing again where it hates me and decides to randomly stop recording and just freeze frame at 1 FPS no matter what I do. Um, yeah, that thing. It's really fun. Anyway, as for talents, I've picked the talents I have for a lot of reasons, and it doesn't mean it's the optimal talent thing. For example, not disadvance, runic corruption versus blood tap versus whatever the frost thing is entirely debatable and somewhat depends on your stats over what might be better. And honestly, blood tap may be stronger than runic corruption. However, like for example, runic corruption gives you a consistent ruin generation as opposed to a free blood ruin. So overall, a blood ruin may get better, but I'm not going to necessarily learn um, or relearn my runes because previously, as Unholy, I almost never had to look at my runes. I always knew what I had up. Now it's like with things costing death runes, I have to be very aware of what deaths I have, not just what runes I have up, and it's going to take a little bit more getting used to for me. So I picked it for a very simplistic reason of learning my runes without uh, having to deal with anything somewhat gimmicky, like getting one random rune back or instantly getting a death rune when I hit blood tap. Alright, anyway, starting with the list. Unholy Blight. Plague Leech may be worth something. Previously, I think Outbreak was in there. There's been a bunch of iterations. Unholy Blight just does AoE diseases on everything, which all I can really do it right now is PGs, so it's probably the best. Plague Leech may be better later on. I don't know. Depends on how much you have to maintain your ruins and like how much damage you give up. Um, Plague Striking as opposed to Necrotic or Scourge Striking, with how much emphasis is going to be placed on Death Quill and your pets and converting to Death Runes. So Plague Leech may turn out to be better. Right now, I honestly think everyone should just play Unholy Blight because pretty much all you're going to be doing is PGs. Purgatory versus Anti-Magic Zone versus Lichborn. Um, right now I think Death Coil Heals are one of the abilities that's scaled up to 90 for its base damage, along with some other classes have theirs as well. So I think Lichborn is impossible to give up right now. My macro keeps bugging out and I only get like 1 or 2 Lichborns off, so I'm going to have to re-update that, and if I find out a mistake and get it fixed, or can consistently recreate the error, I'll let you know on what happens. It's weird, I'll have like 50 rune power and it won't go off. But right now, not so much. Next tier, Death Advance versus Chillblains versus Asphyxiate. Death Advance is absolutely retarded. Permanent 70% movement speed and a 10% movement speed increase, and then a 6-second freedom, although it doesn't get you out of roots. That was an awesome Dark Sim Blink, by the way. I should have gotten Ring, but apparently you can't Dark Sim Ring anymore. Don't ask me. I think Palm might actually make it cost no mana, so you can't get it. I'm not sure. Pretty sure that was Palm Ring. Chillblains is just the root. It may be useful if you don't have a class that can root, but I think Death's Advance is too strong to give up, especially for BGs and just general kiting right now. You're really quite a ranged class as Unholy. Um, Death Pact, Death Siphon Conversion. Okay, this is a finicky one. Once again, it comes down to me wanting to make sure I know all my ruins perfectly. Death Siphon costs ruins, the other two cost ruin power, so Death Siphon will keep my ruins generating as normal, where Conversion and Death Pact will reduce my um, basically ruin rotation as I can go through certain abilities. So as far as just getting used to death ruins and abilities costing death ruins, Death Siphon's by far the best for me. I know conversion heals for a lot and death pact heals for a ton. They may be better options later on, but once again, it's just for figuring out my ruins. And then I already did a couple of mentions over runic empowerment, runic corruption, and blood tap. I just went with corruption because it's an X amount of time off your ruins. I think right now there's like way too much haste in the game, so percent time off your ruins is probably the best anyway. Or not percent time, just general time off your ruins is probably the strongest regardless. Uh, so those are the talents. Hopefully people will stop asking me now. I showed at the beginning. And then I'll throw a quick thing in here because apparently I have more time before this BG and Fraps decided to start exploding. So I was going to talk about the stats. First, strength versus PvP power. For raw damage, the 100% the damage like Festering Strike does, PvP power is like 4 attack power behind strength for raw damage. No like mastery ability that may make PvP power better or parry arguments. Right now, as Unholy, I think strength is a tiny bit ahead. But due to all the other stuff, the amount of haste you have, the mastery scaling into most of your abilities, several other things, PvP power is probably going to end up being better towards Mop. But I'm going to level in this gear, so it's really whatever either way. So I'm just going to stay with strength for now. I have a few PvP power gems in that switched. Right now it's the same. My attack power is really high as Unholy, not so much as Frost. But generally speaking, I think PvP power should just be held off until Mop, and people can do actually real testing with full stats and do the actual math, as opposed to rough math like I've been doing. Um, Anything else I'm missing? You have no clue what the rotation's going to be. I'll look in Frost later. Right now, this is just basically me trying to rememorize my runes. Why I've taken this setup. It may not be the best. I actually have serious doubts about it being the best. There's many things that are very good. So, just for people who are wondering what I did, that's what it is. Hopefully you guys can stop asking now. Thanks. Oh, also, I reforged to haste and mastery, not crit. If anyone's wondering. I don't know if that's correct either. I think it is still correct. You don't necrotic as much, so crit has a higher stat value, but I still don't think it's ever mastery. Thanks for watching.